Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Oscar Goldman here, reporting from Hannibal, Missouri. This evening, we have a very, very special guest, Mr. Mark Twain. Mark, how are you tonight?
Good.
Excellent, Mark. Thanks for joining us. The audience is really interested to learn a little bit more about your life. Let's start with your mother. What was your mother's name?
Jan.
Jan, that's right. That's great. So, how old is Jan?
She's
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. How big was your family, Mark?
I was the 6th out of 7 children.
Holy cow, you must have had a big house. Was it crowded?
Yeah.
Did you have to share a bed with the other sibling?
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. So, how old were you when your younger sister died?
I was 3.
3 years old. Was she older or younger?
She was older.
Older, uh-huh. That had to be devastating. Tell us how you felt when that happened.
I was sad.
You were sad. Must have been horrible for the family.
Yes.
I can understand. So, what age did you decide to up and leave home, Mark?
I was 18.
18 years old. And what motivated you to leave home?
I don't really know. I just kind of wanted to get away.
Family troubles? Not sure?
I
Okay.
wanted to get away.
I understand. Mark, have you tried these new grapes? They are so good. You ought to try one.
Sure.
Wait, let me ask you something, Mark. Where were you born?
I was born in Florida.
Uh-huh. Any particular place in Florida?
Missouri.
Missouri, Florida?
Florida, Missouri.
Florida, Missouri. Excellent, Mark. Thank you so much. When exactly were you born?
I was born November 30th, 1835.
1835. Do you know how many years ago that was?
A long time ago.
That's a good answer, Mark. Thank you so much. Let's jump into some of your accomplishments. In 1867, I think you published a book. What was the name of the book?
Advice for Little Girls, and I actually published 2. The Celebrated Jumping Frog of Kelvis Country.
Wow. 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 That is exciting. How old were you when you published these books?
I was about 30.
30 years old. I tell you what, that's exciting, Mark. That is so exciting. Where exactly were you when you published your first work?
I was in New York.
In New York, Where were you living in New York? Uptown, downtown, around town?
Around town.
Oh, yeah, I'm with you. I know what you're talking about. So, what was the first book that you published?
It was The Celebrated Jumping Frogs of Kelvis Country.
Sounds like we just talked about that one.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, let's move on. How many kids do you have?
I have 4.
4? What's their names?
Billy,
Uh-huh.
Samantha,
Uh-huh.
Joyce,
Sure.
and Jared.
Really, that's great. You know what? That sounds like quite the crew. So, in 1904, what other book did you publish?
I published A Dog's Tale.
Don't get so excited, Mark, but that sounds exciting to me. And what was the book about?
Like a dog, but the trick is, it's not like its tail that it wags. It's tail that, like a tail, like a fairy tale.
Oh, it's a fairy tale as opposed to a dog's tale. I see, I see. I noticed you've got your puppy over here behind us there, Lila. That's great, that's great. So later on in life, let's talk about kind of down the road, if you will. You got married to a lovely bride, and what was her name?
Her name was Olivia Langdon.
Olivia Langdon. Tell me about her.
She was very nice.
Uh-huh. Was she beautiful?
Yes.
Yes. And did she work?
No.
No?
She cleaned.
She cleaned? She was a cleaner. That's good. Well, with all those kids, I have to imagine she probably never had time to do anything else. So anyway, where were you married?
I was married in New York.
In New York. Was that around town, uptown, or downtown?
Downtown.
Downtown. I got you. Okay, that sounds good. And was it an extravagant wedding?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Tell us about it.
It was fun.
It was fun. And what kind of food did you serve?
The good kind.
Oh, yeah. Probably some steak, lobster, shrimp, and whatnot.
Corn and bread.
Corn and bread. Ladies and gentlemen, corn and bread.
You know,
That's
back
exciting.
in the day, that
Yeah, I understand. I understand. So I suspect, as an accomplished author, you have probably done some extensive traveling. Tell me about this.
I had 2 trips. I went on 2 trips to Europe.
Oh, yeah. And where did you visit in Europe? Italy, Croatia.
The first time, Italy.
Uh-huh.
Second time, Paris.
Paris. Indeed, I understand that's a fabulous city. Very romantic, they say. Were you with your wife? Awesome. That is so nice. Did you see the Eiffel Tower?
Yes.
Excellent. Good to hear. So, how did your daughter die?
Of meningitis.
Meningitis. Sounds horrible. Where did this take place?
In New York.
I can tell with you getting older that you're kind of losing your memory a little bit.
Yeah.
I think this might be some Alzheimer's setting in. Okay. Well, that sounds really good. So, there's a lot of interesting facts and quotes that we can attribute to you. Mark, if you look back on your life, what fascinated you?
Steamboats.
Steamboats, indeed. They are fascinating. And what was it about these steamboats?
That they toot.
Oh, I know you like the tooting. That sounds really fabulous. Great. Steamboats because they toot. Okay. Hey, kind of sounds like maybe one of your sisters you're talking about. Anyway, what are your favorite subjects?
My favorite subjects would probably be history and spelling.
Ah. So I understand you are an accomplished historian.
Yes.
That's great. That's great. You want to elaborate on that a little bit? I guess not. So tell me something, Mark, just anything that you enjoy.
Pranks.
I'm sorry?
Pranks.
Pranks?
Yes.
What kind of pranks?
Like just practical jokes and pranks.
Like whoopee cushions?
Yeah.
That's excellent. Tell us about your favorite prank you played on somebody.
There's so many I don't even know.
Oh, it must be the old age setting in. I understand. So, tell me, if you don't mind, share with the audience one of your favorite quotes. Okay.
A sin takes on a new and real terror.
I tell you what, that's a good one. Thanks for sharing. So anyway, I hear you like slave stories. Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
What is it about these slave stories that so fascinate you?
I like to hear about just old kind of stories and stuff, so that just let me learn about it.
I see. I'll tell you what, you are a man of so many words. So many words. Tell us, Mark, as we finish up, what was your birth name?
Samuel Clemens Langhorne.
Samuel Clemens Langhorne? And why exactly did you change your name to Mark Twain?
Wait, that's not my last. That wasn't my name.
Oh, I'm sorry. Please say it again for the audience.
Samuel Langhorne Clemens.
Ah, so sorry to mince those words there, Mr. Twain. Well, that sounds really great. Is there anything before we leave that you'd like to share with our audience?
Not much. I mostly gave my life.
You mostly gave your life. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us tonight on LYLA Lila Radio. I am Oscar Goldman, and we will see you tomorrow night. Mark, thank you.
You're welcome.
10-4. Cut!